Greetings, Starfighter. You are about to listen to the totally super awesome 80s Reboot Overdrive podcast. Always remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Ready Player One.
We're about to complete a great quest, the Holy Grail, Dr. Jones.
Oh, rats.
This is it. Look, the shield is the second marker. We found it.
Indiana Jones is on the quest of a lifetime. But for some adventures, one Jones is not enough.
Dad? Junior? Don't call me that, please.
Follow me! I know the way!
A race across 3 continents.
And in this sort of race, there's no silver medal for finishing second.
Hang on, Dad! We're going in!
Into the homeland of the enemy.
Nazis. I hate these guys. Our situation has not improved.
In his search for the Holy Grail.
How dare you kiss me?
Are you crazy? Don't go between them!
Go between them, are you crazy?
Where's my father?
In the belly of that steel beast.
Dad! Junior!
You call this archaeology? The quest for the Grail is not archaeology. It's a race against evil.
Germany has declared war on the Jones boys.
Those people are trying to kill us.
I know, Dad!
It's a new experience for me. Happens to me all the time.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Have the adventure of your life. Keeping up with the Joneses.
All right. Anytime you're ready.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Right.
Hello, everybody. This is Dave, and we are doing another episode of 80s Reboot Overdrive. And so excited tonight because we started doing these movie reviews. We started with 1982. We completely shot our way through all the years. We're now at 1989. Very exciting year for movies. So I'm excited to jump in there. I promise you that we are going to go back and revisit 1980 and 1981. But the task at hand tonight is talking 1989 movies. On the show today, we've got Nick.
Hello.
And we've got Scott.
Hello. How's everybody?
Doing great.
Cool.
So, guys, I got to tell you, I'm excited about this one because I have patiently stood by on the other ones, and I was very generous with my hosting abilities where I let everybody go first, other previous years. But this year I'm taking over and I'm going first because I'm not letting anyone take Batman away from me. So the nature of the beast here is much like from 86 on, our co-hosts come to the podcast with 3 of the movies that they want to talk about. Not necessarily their 3 favorites, or they can be, but in the case of Matt, co-host Matt, he actually picked on a few that he, detested. So if anybody remembers
that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah,
I like that take on it. It was kind of cool.
The Mac and Me one, and actually one of my later, picks. I'm fully expecting to get picked on, but right now let's start off with Batman. Just to give you guys a little background, and I've told this variation of this story throughout the podcast, but bear with me. Summer of 1989, I just joined the United States Navy, and I get sent to boot camp, and then I get to technical A school where they teach you how to be your primary job field. In this case, I chose to be a data processing technician. And the place that they send me, San Diego, California. So after boot camp, when I go to technical A school, you basically have your evenings and your weekdays off. and unless you have like a duty day or you've got to do some sort of work assignment. So one of the weekends that I was free and I'm in San Diego, being as young as I am and enjoying life, I read about this little thing that they have going on called the San Diego Comic-Con. So this is 1989, so it's even before it gets like uber popular. I get over there and decide to check it out. And something that a lot of people don't know is that before that time period, I wasn't really that much into comic books. I was into satirical type, magazines like Cracked and Mad magazine. You guys remember those?
Of course.
Yeah. So, I had my, peach box filled with, Cracked magazines that had the covers ripped off because I had folded the back of them and put the pictures together and all that you could do. Yeah. So, I had that collection, and that was my, collection at the time. And I get to the San Diego Comic-Con, and, before then I had really what pop culture had given me for knowledge of superheroes. I had, I knew who Superman was. I knew who the Incredible Hulk was. I knew, of the Avengers, of Fantastic Four, and of course Batman. But, I get there, and being a satirical magazine guy, I dig into some, big boxes of collectibles, and I find something called Boris the Bear. Now, if you guys don't know who Boris the Bear is, I encourage you to go look it up. Really cool comic book from back in the day. It takes a really funny vibe on, beating up, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe and all that kind of good stuff. But another thing that I find, Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns.
There you go.
So I get introduced to a completely different take of what I thought Batman was, because pop culture had given me 1966 Batman. They had given me the Super Friends Batman. So I didn't know of, what Batman was supposed to be. But reading this graphic novel, it said, whoa, I didn't know who Batman really was. And then that whole summer, if you guys remember, 1989, you can go anywhere without seeing the Bat logo.
Oh, God, right? Yeah. It was all merchandising.
Yeah, all over the place. I mean, everywhere you went, it was on something. The Bat logo was on, a Care Bear. I don't know. So, but, they should have put it there. But, it was just crazy that merchandising machine was out there and Batman was everywhere. And then I got to go to the theater and see Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Jack Palance. I mean, it was just perfect timing to just solidify my new vision of what Batman was. Now that Frank Miller had kind of broken the floodgates as to what, what Batman should have, or was being introduced to me by. Mm-hmm. And then, now for fans of our podcast, if you go back to our earlier shows, that our second episode, and Nick, I'm glad you're on, that was our second episode after our Thundercat episode. So, we talked all about Tim Burton's Batman. And in fact, before we started the show here, Nick was telling me that we weren't allowed to talk about Batman because of that. So
I stand by that.
Yeah, I disagree completely.
We devoted an entire show to Batman.
And I'm doing it again.
You want to listen to our thoughts on Batman, you go back into our archives and you listen to Batman.
Well, now we're just going to have to do a whole episode on Mac and Me.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Pretty much just, an hour and a half of us crying.
Hey, you know what's on Netflix right now is Masters of the Universe.
Yes. I saw that. I made a noise that a man my age should not make.
So your take on Batman, Nick?
Well, I guess I'll just sort of give a quick, rundown of what I thought Batman was. Because, I'm dating myself, but I was 7 when Batman came out.
Mm-hmm.
and I had gotten the VHS like that summer. It had come out in like just the straight black box with the logo on it, and I was like the happiest kid on Mars. And again, I had grown up with the reruns of like the Adam West and Burt Ward show, and this is before Batman the Animated Series, so you have an idea of Batman, and then you get to the scene where Joker uses the deadly hand buzzer and scorches the guy, and
then after he kills him, he starts talking to him, right?
He starts talking to him, and you see like this smoldering skeleton, and I had to sort of blink. But it's funny you should mention The Dark Knight Returns, Dave, because I think it was my 8th birthday. My uncle took me on a bit of a shopping trip, and one of the things he saw, I think it was at a Spencer's Gifts, was this beautiful leather-bound book called The Complete Frank Miller Batman. And it had Batman Year One, it had The Dark Knight Returns, and it had a few of like Frank Miller's early like short story Batman work. And like between that and the movie, you definitely got this whole different view of Batman. And I read it probably earlier than I probably should have, but it definitely it informed my opinion of all Batman going forward.
Much different tone than the campy Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and if we ever do 90s reboot or something like that, I will be all about Batman the Animated Series. That was my jam. It was that and what we just talked about. Yeah. So.
Oh, that was a great cartoon.
Yeah.
All right. So, Scott, you got any thoughts on Batman? Don't even say you didn't see it.
No, I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it.
Pretty sure dead people have seen Batman.
It didn't do much for me. It was fun, but it wasn't as entertaining as a lot of people took it. Now, you talk to my wife, and it's one of her like top 5 movies of all time. She absolutely loves that movie. She had like the neon yellow logo with on the shirt, with the. I mean, she had the gear too. I mean, she loved that movie. So I appreciate it in that sense, but I've never really been like a huge Batman fan as far as like the movies go. A lot of the movies, I've tried a bunch of them, and they're all right. They're kind of entertaining, but I don't know why. It's never like a lot of the superhero things. They didn't really grab me much. The Batman that I remember liking was the cartoon of where they were all together, Super Friends or whatever it was called.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like you're talking Superman, Aquaman. The Wonder Twins,
Samurai, El Dorado,
everybody. And that was the Batman that I remember.
at the Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice, exactly. Nice. So, yeah, that was.
So, is it the modern day superhero movies? Do they do it for you?
I've tried a few of them, and they just, I don't know why. I want to like them. I want to. Like, I want to like Iron Man. I think it's really cool effects and cool concepts. I kind of like Batman and Iron Man better than like the ones with the superpowers that actually have powers. Like Batman doesn't have any powers; he just has toys. All those wonderful toys. Where does he get all those wonderful toys?
Well, thank you for using one of the lines. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it a few times over the years because Chrissy likes to watch it every once in a while, pop it in. Or if it's on cable or something, we'll, watch part of it. It might be one of those movies for her where she might have to stop at like the burning house theory. What that was yours, right, Nick? It's like one of your things, like if you were leaving a burning house.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I stopped and watched part of it. I think that one might be for Chrissy. I think she might stop and watch part of Batman. So yeah, it's been part of the last 20 years of my life, for sure. So anyway,
I
I hope I'm not terribly disappointing you, Dave.
You actually are. I'm kind of. I was like, I had such a great build up for Batman, and then you just.
We're never calling Scott again.
I was going to say, and everyone, this is Scott's last show, so
yeah.
Say good night.
You guys.
Oh man,
No,
that hurts.
I will say, I mean, looking at it objectively, 25 years later, it is very much a product of its time.
It is.
It is so very 80s at parts. It hurts. I mean, the Prince music alone.
Yeah,
But much like our discussion on RoboCop, I mean, it's still lovable.
Oh yeah.
But even though you're right, it's very much 80s.
I could see I could see I don't know, a teenager born in 98 who grew up on, say, like Batman Begins with the Nolan Batman, and if they went back and looked at the Tim Burton Batman, it would be a very different experience, no doubt.
Oh yeah. There was a little more campiness.
Oh yeah,
a little bit of it, but I mean, it was very dark in general.
Oh, very dark, yeah.
But it had some campiness edge to it, very unlike the Nolan Batman, who's just all dark. So, but yeah, Scott, you disappoint me a little bit. So, you've got to at least tell me that you like Sword of Omens over He-Man's sword.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Come again.
Don't make anyone choose between that, man. That's like choosing between your children.
That was just a debate from earlier shows.
Okay.
All right. So never mind. We'll skip right past that. But I don't want to go past Batman without at least saying, "Ever Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight."
Okay, that is a good line. I'll
Yes.
give that. That is a classic line.
All right. So Nick's first pick.
I guess because if we're calling dibs, then I definitely want to cover Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Good one.
Which came out in '89. And that was a hell of a summer. Let's be perfectly frank. If you want to talk about movies.
Mm-hmm.
Between that and Batman and what else? I got my thing in front of me here. Let's see. 89. What else came out in '89? Help me. Well, UHF.
Nothing like a good Weird Al movie.
Oh, Bill and Ted came out in '89. Yeah, okay. So there you go.
There's some good ones. We're gonna get to some good ones.
You see, what that movie is to me is that is the first Indiana Jones movie I have a clear memory of, because I know when I was really, really young, I was at a friend's house and they had Temple of Doom playing on the TV. And I remember watching it, I remember liking it, but I didn't really grasp what it was, what everything was all about. And then when Last Crusade came out, I got that in video. My uncle gave it to me for Christmas, I think, and I watched it all the way through, and then it inspired me to pick up the other two. So
this is a great movie. I love the Sean Connery father piece of it. It is just hilarious. Just how the whole scene where he takes his umbrella and makes the birds go up into the to stop the plane. Mm-hmm. Just funny, just absolutely funny. And then when the what was it, the Nazi woman that they both had slept with,
Elsa? Yep.
Yeah, it's just hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
I'm sure what the next man. Dad, I was the next man. And I guess looking back on it now, especially, that was an early exposure to me for Sean Connery as this, bookish academic, and then you look at his main body of work as like the stone badass type. This was like such a neat departure for him.
Yeah. The other part that was funny to me was the scene where Hitler autographs the book. Yeah. So good stuff.
They had to put that in there. They because at the time I think they were really focusing to make that the last Indiana Jones movie. So you had to stick Hitler in there.
What about Scott? Are you a fan of Last Crusade, or is that like
I'm
Batman?
a fan. No, I'm a fan of Indiana Jones.
Hell yeah.
I think the whole series is a lot of fun. There's a lot of good comic relief in it. A lot of fun action, just crazy action stuff that they put in there. I mean, you'll never forget the first time you saw the original or the Raiders of the Lost Ark when he's running away from that ball, that rolling stone. I mean, it's like one of those iconic moments in movies. So to fall in love with Indiana Jones from that first one, you had to follow up for the second and the third, and they're all just they're a lot of fun. I just love them. So yeah, the fourth one I was a little disappointed in.
I was gonna say, I noticed that you pointedly didn't mention Crystal Skull, which is fine. Which is totally fine.
No, that was jumping the shark. So, but no, back to the Raiders. I love the scene where he goes to reach for his gun, but it's not there.
Yep.
No. He reaches for the gun and just shoots him. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, the guy with the big sword.
Yeah.
And the whole series, they've got great fight scenes, great sound. The sound, not the soundtrack, but the sound of so many, like the explosions and the fighting. Everything was just so well done, and it goes back to Spielberg, of course.
Him and Lucas, really, they like together.
Oh, absolutely, they're amazing.
Yeah.
But the way Sean Connery and Harrison Ford played off each other on
Last
Crusade, just fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of tongue in cheek there.
And you've heard their logic behind why they wanted to cast Sean Connery, right?
No, please share.
The story that Spielberg likes to tell is that they feel that James Bond is sort of the father of Indiana Jones, like concept-wise, so why not have James Bond be the father of Indiana Jones?
Oh, yeah.
Although,
glad it wasn't Roger Moore.
That's true. Like, although I will say that, of course, Sean Connery is iconic in the role, but if they didn't get him, they were going to go for Gregory Peck, which I think would also work really well.
Gregory Peck.
Yeah. A very tough name. Gregory Peck. Yeah, but yeah, that would have worked really well. But of course, Sean. And
I am so curious now. Should we have a Roger Moore 007 show?
I'm down for that.
I did. I liked Roger Moore. I really did.
Yeah.
For a second there, you sounded a little negative there, so I was worried.
It was actually I was trying to think of the guy that did it after Roger, not Timothy Dalton, but he did one episode.
Oh no, that was George Lazenby. That was actually after Sean Connery. He did one after Sean Connery, and then they brought in. And then Sean Connery came back, and then they brought in Roger Moore.
Okay. We'll have to do a 007 episode. So
totally.
I would do a 007 episode.
All right. So, any last thoughts on Last Crusade?
It's the Last Crusade.
Well, okay. Well, I have to ask, Dave. Did I choose wisely?
Oh, that great movie! Fantastic movie.
Isn't that from the end of the movie?
Oh, right? Did I ruin the line again?
Well, the line is "You have chosen wisely," so I just wanted to make sure that I did.
Oh, you did.
Yes,
you did.
And so when I drink from the drink in front of me, I'm not going to immediately rot within 30 seconds and die. So that's good.
Oh, see, I completely was blanking out, but yeah, you're going through the scene there with the knight.
Yep, the knight and the false grail.
Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those were great scenes where he was going through the different trials.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
And just as an Indiana Jones thing, great villain death scenes in all of them.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Awesome death scenes, all of them.
Yeah, I think when the first one came out, and my dad, we were in Chicago. My dad was still in California. My mom and dad were back there, and they said something about it, but they didn't say whether I should bring my little sister or not. And she was like 9,
I
think. And when the end of the movie happened, when that guy melted, when those guys melted from the Ark of the Covenant, she lost it, man. It was.
Oh, that seems so creepy.
And then, so it gets out that that we took her, and my dad's like, "I told you not to take her to the movie." I don't remember that. I don't remember hearing you say that. Anyway, sorry. We should move on.
All right, Scott, your pick.
Okay, so you guys are obviously doing your number one pick, your favorite of all time. We're not going backwards.
No, I had to pick Batman before somebody else took it.
Okay.
But no, go ahead, please.
Oh man, this was such a hard choice, and I'm reversing it as we go right now. I'm changing my mind on my number one pick. I got to go with Christmas Vacation.
Yeah. Okay.
I watch it every year, and you know, the Griswold family is just so freaking funny. It's hysterical. I mean, Cousin Eddie, the lights on the house, just there's so much. I mean, we're gonna have happiest Christmas and Bing Crosby tap dance with Danny Kaye.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so many lines, and it's
and who hasn't had? And let's be perfectly frank here. Who hasn't had a Christmas where you just wanted to get the damn thing over with?
Yeah.
But you wanted to try to keep like the spirit of the season. But I've had a few where you're trying to be like all happy and ready to go, and your family's just not helping.
Yeah, I mean, it's one laugh after another, and there's so many little things that I think, like I think you're laughing and you miss some of the stuff while you're laughing, So when you go back and see it,
yeah.
You go back and see it again a couple times. You're like, oh, I didn't catch that the first time. That's even better. There's just so many. It's like one thing after another in that movie. So it's yeah.
For years I've been using that as a reference for like when I see somebody having a bunch of electric cords plugged into each other, and I go, God, this is just like Christmas Vacation. So,
yep. Or the poor
Yeah.
cat getting behind the Christmas tree.
Yeah. Well, there's one scene where the town that I just moved from is actually mentioned.
Oh, really? What?
Yes. Cousin Eddie and Clark are walking through the grocery store, and they're talking about, Cousin Eddie says, well, gas money run out in Gurney. And that's right.
Oh, yep.
Gurney. And, they live in Chicago area or whatever, and they're on their way. So gas money run out in Gurney. So that's our little claim to fame in Gurney.
That's where Cousin Eddie and the family got stuck, huh?
Yeah. So, it's I watch it every year,
And
maybe
then-
a couple times.
And I think it was Julia Louis-Dreyfus and David Duchovny as their yuppie neighbors.
No, it was not David Duchovny. It was another guy. I don't know the actor's name. I've never seen him in anything else, but they were hysterical. I don't know, Todd. How did the carpet get all wet, Todd? I don't know, Margot. And what broke the stereo?
And then finally, just the tree and the SWAT team.
Well, the tree, and the classic line on that part of the tree is, the neighbors are sitting at dinner, and they're like, well, it's Christmas Eve. Where are we going to get a tree on Christmas Eve? And the tree slamming through the window, the one that Clark has to cut down because the other one burned up. And hey, Grizz, why don't you go and get me my stogie? I mean, it's one thing after another. If I had a rubber hose, I would beat you. Do you remember that one?
Yep.
That was at the end when the cops came in, the SWAT team.
Yeah, was it the Jam of the Month Club?
Yeah, Jelly of the Month.
Jelly of the Month, yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
The actor's name is Nicholas Guest, but I can't find anything else he's been on.
He's done I think he's done voice work. He's done the name.
Yeah, there's a lot of voice work that he's done.
Yeah. At the very beginning, when Clark's in his office, and you see the line of executives go by.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I believe "Kiss My Ass" was in there somewhere too.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiss his ass.
Oh,
I know this is a family-friendly show, but I'm just quoting a movie.
No, I understand.
it's PG-13. It's all right.
Yeah, and that it's funny every time you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And just on that same side note, after doing the ladies 80s reboot for the top 3 albums, I found out that we're probably a lot more stringent on 80s reboot than other shows.
Oh,
So I think we might be able to get away with being a little more, letting our hair down a little bit.
oh, so if I just just let out a big, huge, F-bomb on the air right now?
No, I think that might not work.
Oh.
But we'll bleep that. But
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, if it's being bleeped, then Merry Christmas.
oh, God.
Well, there we go.
Oh man.
You said it was being bleeped.
Oh man, he's going to make me do some editing work now. All right.
Oh, so I could have done the line.
All right. So anything else on Christmas Vacation?
No, I think that's good.
Well, first off, I'll start with this.
You mean like career? I don't know. I've thought about this quite a bit, sir, and I would have to say, considering what's waiting out there for me, I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career. I don't want to sell anything bought or processed, or buy anything sold or processed, or process anything sold, bought, or processed, or repair anything sold, bought, or processed. As a career, I don't want to do that. So my father's in the Army. He wants me to join, but I can't work for that corporation. So what I've been doing lately is kickboxing, which is a new sport, but I think it's got a good future. As far as career longevity, I don't really know because, you can't really tell. If you're 8-6 as a fighter, it's no good. You have to be great, but I can't really tell if I'm great until I've had a couple of pro fights. But I haven't been knocked down yet. I don't know, I can't figure it all out tonight, so I'm just going to hang with your daughter.
So, of course, talking about Say Anything.
Yep.
Now, I was curious about this before we started recording because I was wondering if this was the first Jeremy Piven and John Cusack, teamwork. Because Piven was in this where he, jumps up to John Cusack and is like, "I want my keys," and Piven's like, "You gotta settle down, man." And so I was wondering, if that was their first partnership. Do you guys know if this was their first?
I'd have to do a little research.
Yeah.
I actually looked it up. So One Crazy Summer was 1986.
Oh, okay. So.
And Piven was in that one.
Was he?
Yeah.
I know Demi Moore was.
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually in there. I would have to go back and kind of rethink about, what scene he was in, but
Wasn't Bobcat Goldthwait in that too?
He was. But Say Anything, a couple things that I looked up and I found interesting as I was, looking a little more about this movie. The dojo featured in the movie is the same one they used in The Karate Kid. It's a Cobra Kai dojo.
Nice.
Yeah. And when Lloyd holds up the radio, it's actually playing a song by the group Fishbone. And they added In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel as post-production.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, so I didn't even know that about that, until today. But Say Anything, I just love Lloyd Dobler. I love the various scenes, and just his phrases. There's the scene where he, there's like, was it a puddle or something like that, and he puts his jacket down, to have her walk on it. And then he's got the friend of his that's writing every song for this guy named Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just very iconic stuff, and he's the key master. It's just awesome where he's like taking a picture with Diane Court, and he's not really taking a picture, but he's like, posing, so it looks like he's, posing with her. So a lot of great scenes from this movie, a lot of great quotes. I just love Say Anything. So no?
I don't know if I actually ever saw it all the way through.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
So
And I love John Cusack. Seriously.
Every single pick of mine you're going to diss now. That hurts.
Well, it depends on what you pick next.
We'll get ready for the next one.
No, it's not.
You're going to pick on me on the next one. But anyway, go ahead.
It's not that I don't think it was a good movie. I just can't. I don't remember. Like, I know it was very popular. It was very, very popular. But I don't think it grabbed my attention at that time. I think 1989 was an interesting year for me. I had a lot going on. That's when I moved from California to Chicago. And so I was just kind of, there's a lot of things that I missed at like the theater. I wasn't really going to the theater, but I remember a lot of these movies because I saw them after the fact, after they were at the theaters. So I just never got around to seeing Say Anything. I'm sorry, Dave.
All right. We obviously need to get your wife on the podcast.
Well, that seems you seem to be assuming that she likes Say Anything.
I don't know if she's ever seen it either. I don't know. I mean, we've never really talked about it.
Okay.
Like,
you'll have to get back to us on that.
She's a huge Peter Gabriel fan.
That's good, yeah.
All right.
And I am too. I mean, I love, Peter Gabriel was good musician, but that's about all I know of the movie.
I got to ask, is Say Anything considered a chick flick?
Yes.
Ouch.
Well, no,
yeah,
I mean,
it's a romantic. It's a
romantic movie. It's
romantic comedy.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not really a chick flick as such, but it's definitely geared towards the more romantic in us, I guess. But
oh man, you can't go wrong with the Doppler. All right, okay, come on, Nick. Come on, say something good about Say Anything now.
Well, it gave us, of course, the iconic boombox scene, which every idiot who's ever wanted to make a romantic statement from 1989 to now still tries to replicate.
I use that image before every time I got like 100 new followers on Twitter. I was using that image as a thank you. So yeah, I've fallen under the same spell of using that.
And I mean, it tells me just how huge boomboxes were back in the day.
Oh yeah, they were gigantic. Are you talking about huge as in popular or gigantic?
Popular popular and yes, very, very large.
Yeah, a little of both.
Because he had to use both hands to lift it over his head. So.
Yeah.
All
now
right.
you just tweet a song to somebody, right?
Well, I forget who I was talking about.
Post it on their Facebook page.
Yes.
I forget who I was talking with about this the other day, but maybe you guys could maybe help me out here because it seems like it was a very 80s thing to make someone a mixtape if you liked them.
Yes.
Yes.
Like get some songs they liked or you both liked, and you'd make the tape, or later on, you'd burn the CD. I guess that's more my generation. But yeah, nowadays there's really no equivalent to that. I mean,
playlist.
You make up a playlist, but they also need to have the songs. So.
Oh, that's true.
But
there's nothing like making a mixtape for somebody.
Yeah, there's nothing solid about it. It's like
that's good.
So
here, honey, I made you a mix cloud.
Yeah, there's a lot more effort that's involved in making a mixtape. And yeah, I think people, I think that's the reason why it was so well received, because those receiving understood the time commit that went into making a mixtape.
I mean, first of all, you got to have a dual tape deck.
Yeah, you got to do the dual.
Yeah, you got to have the dual tape deck.
Yeah.
And then you have to actually listen to each song as you copy it.
Right.
So that you can stop it just at the right time before it goes into the next song.
And there are several rules to making a mixtape.
Rules? There were rules?
Do tell.
Well, I was another John Cusack movie. But that's not.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Not in the 80s, but yeah, for those that are unaware.
That's the one where he's the record store owner?
Yes. High Fidelity.
High Fidelity.
Oh my God.
Very good movie, that High Fidelity.
I just watched it the other day, like 3-4 weeks ago. It was an awesome movie.
High Fidel is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
So I guess this is my next question. Did either of you ever make a mixtape for anyone else?
I did not make one, but I did receive one.
Oh. And you probably listened to it till it faded away.
Oh, definitely did. Definitely did. My wife, she had sent me a mixtape while I was in the Navy.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Don't cry. But yeah, it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
That's awesome. Yeah, the only mixtapes I ever made were for myself.
Yeah. I was gonna say, my friend made me an industrial mix in college that I listened to when I wanted to, like, get mad, but that's not...
9 Inch Nails for you?
Yeah, KMFDM, a lot of German stuff,
Oh yeah, Du Hast.
Oh yeah, Rammstein. So that's very much like Say Anything, yes. So.
Yes. It's just like Say Anything. Hast, Du Hast.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
No, that's the podcast about my high school.
So we got to run over to Nick's next choice.
Oh, it's already my turn? Okay.
It's your turn again.
Okay, let's see. And, well, let's see. I was sort of tossing this up and down because, if you want to talk about, I don't know, a good guy cry movie, Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. All right.
And even though I'm a born and bred New Englander, I'm gonna get heat for this possibly, but I'm just not a huge baseball fan. Yet this movie does it.
Build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Or what? No, build it and he will come.
Yeah, if you build it, he will come. And
Right.
And then you get the other messages at the course of the movie. Yeah, but.
And that was Shoeless, right?
Well, it was, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Oh my God, it's a 1980 movie
by this point. But he thought it was about Shoeless Joe Jackson, but then at the very end, he finds out it was about his dad. And his dad came, and they played baseball, and it was wonderful.
And it was beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. And James Earl Jones went into the cornfield.
Yeah. That was the only part about the movie I really cared for was James Earl Jones. I got to hear Darth Vader.
I will say one of my favorite lines is because James Earl Jones' character is basically, he's like the J.D. Salinger. I guess in the book it was J.D. Salinger, but he's the J.D. Salinger XP, and they're at what stadium were they at? Do you remember now? I'm trying to remember now. Was it Yankee Stadium?
I don't know.
Someone will have to help me with that. But when they're sitting they're standing in the concession stand, and Kevin Costner looks at him and goes, "So what do you want?" He's like, "What I want for people to stop following me for something I did 30 years ago. What I want is for people to think for themselves. What I want is for people to leave me alone and live their own lives." No, I mean, what do you want? Oh, dog and a beer.
That's a good line.
Yeah,
that's a good line.
Yeah, Ray Liotta was I forgot that. Yeah, he was Shoeless Joe.
Yeah,
early role.
A lot of the baseball movies I never really got into because I was never a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
I think I watched a lot of them, but it's just none of them really interested me that much. So I remember seeing that. I do remember seeing Field of Dreams, but it's just baseball. I just don't get baseball, I guess. I mean, I'm glad the Cubbies are, in the playoffs and all. But that's exciting.
Well, I firmly believe that if they break their curse, it will unleash something like some great cosmic horror, like
especially if they do it this year, because that just makes that movie way too weird.
Yeah. Because I mean, the Red Sox, when they broke their curse, I distinctly remember it. There was an eclipse, and then the White Sox broke their curse. And yeah, I'm fairly certain that like some baseball creature from the pit will just rise if the Cubbies, make it to the series and win.
Yeah. So I was curious because as you were talking, I was looking at the various trivia, and I was just read that Tom Hanks was originally offered the role
Hmm.
that Kevin Costner got. So, how would the movie been for you if Tom Hanks did it?
Well, it's interesting because that would have been like, if he'd accepted that,
Right.
that would have been like an early dramatic Tom Hanks role because he was still known for mostly comedies at that point.
Right. Right.
And so, I mean, I think he could have pulled it off. He's got, the sort of everyman thing, but, and I don't know. I'm sort of ambivalent about Kevin Costner as an actor, but he seemed to just embody that sort of, Midwestern type guy.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. It was very believable. All right. So, Field of Dreams. Scott, your next pick.
I am going with a Tom Hanks, actually.
Oh, nice.
The Burbs.
The Burbs.
Just it's one of those movies that I can watch over and over again. In fact, when you put the invitation out there the other day, Dave, I went and I watched The Burbs because it's just
any excuse, right?
A great movie. It's such an awesome movie. Tom Hanks was so funny, and it's interesting that you guys just brought up the whole thing with going into Field of Dreams. I'm thinking, yeah, but that was like Tom Hanks still funny era. He was like still in the comedy. He did Turner and Hooch that year.
Yeah.
I don't think, when was his first serious role? Not for a few years later, I don't think.
Well, it wouldn't have been Forrest Gump, would it? Because wasn't that where he first sort of got his dramatic props for that?
Yeah, I think that might be it. When was Gump released? Like early 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's done way too much. It's taken a long time to scroll through his stuff. So,
you tell a kid from today about, Tom Hanks used to be in all sorts of wacky comedies, and people just be like, huh? Like, he used to be a cross-dresser on TV.
Yeah.
Would you consider A League of Their Own dramatic?
No?
Okay.
Dramedy.
Then Sleepless in Seattle, 93.
Oh, okay.
I would call that, yes. That's probably the one that he's probably most well known for being more of a serious role.
Right.
Yeah, because Gump came out in 94, so.
Right, and then Philadelphia before that, 93.
Okay, no, Philadelphia, no, that was his dramatic breakout. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a pretty dark one, too.
But I don't know, Sleepless in Seattle, though, I mean, he was kind of funny, but not, over the top as much as, in this case, Dragnet or Burbs.
Yeah, much more. I would say that was much more of a romantic comedy, if anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The Burbs?
Oh no, I'm talking about. Yeah, it was a romantic comedy with the Klopeks. The Klopeks, the romance between the Klopeks and yeah, there's some great lines in that one too. I love it. Art's got a gun. Just very simple little things that just make me laugh. We found Walter. We found one. Oh, when they're in the basement and they're talking back and forth, and Art is talking to what was his? I can't remember his name now. His character's name, Tom Hanks. What was his character's name? I just watched it 2 days ago, for crying out loud.
Ray Peterson.
Ray.
Yeah, there you go.
Ray, you're chanting, Ray. You're chanting, Ray, and Ray's next to him with his hands over his ears. La, 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 la. You're chanting, Ray. I want to kill everyone. Satan is good. Satan is your pal. Listen to yourself, Ray.
I'm actually gonna do that the next time my boss is talking to me. See how
and then, Bruce Dern is in that one. He's
yep.
And then one of the Coreys, Corey Feldman is awesome in that movie too.
Oh.
He's like, I love this street, man. No, don't go, guys. It's just gonna start getting good. I ordered a bunch of pizza.
Well, it is very much a Joe Dante movie in that respect.
Oh yeah, it's it's just another one of those classic comedies that are they're lighthearted and fun. There's not a lot of swearing going on, so it's pretty family friendly if you take away the killers next door. the psychopath doctors from some Slavic country that are killing families and whatnot.
Now, would it have made for a better or worse movie had the Klopeks actually not been murderers? Because at first they thought they were, then they thought they weren't. Then, oh wait, never mind. Like,
yeah, I don't know. No, I think they had to be murderers. I think they had to be murderers to wrap it up right.
Just to make it work.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my number 2 pick. That's number 2, right? Wow.
Yeah. We're going long.
We are dragging.
Good stuff, though. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess I am up for number 3, and I almost feel like I should save myself for last. But, in the interest of, am I among friends? That's what I want to start off with.
Oh no! Wait, I gotta scroll through these movies.
No. Am I among friends? I need to know.
Yeah.
All of our podcast listeners, please bear with me. I'm sorry. Anyway. I've taken my wallet out. Here's my wallet. I got my man card. I've got that taken out right here. So
I know where you're going with this.
All right. So
all right.
Bear with me on this one. I'm going to set it up and then I'll deliver.
Dude, I said Field of Dreams. That you don't need to think about anything. Come on.
Wait for it.
Uh-oh.
All right. So, as I said, 1989, joined the Navy. My first duty station that I was attached to was the Bureau of Naval Personnel, Washington, D.C. To back up a second, I just want to make sure everybody understands that we're not talking about our top 3 1989 movies. We're just talking about something that has a story with it. So that's the reason why I wanted to premise that.
Your disclaimer.
The longer you go, the more
you're digging it deep, buddy. Come on, let it rip.
So Washington, D.C., I'm at the Bureau of Naval Personnel, and I have our first barracks assignment is at Fort Myer, which is in Arlington, Virginia, right next to the Arlington Cemetery. So if you ever get a chance to check the Arlington Cemetery, I used to go through that, like on the weekends, and then take the Metro to go check out, the National Archives and the Smithsonian and all that kind of good stuff. But anyway, to digress off of the story, it's a very cool place to be when you're 18, 19 years old. I'm on the base, Fort Myers, and I would hang out in the barracks. So it was an Army base because the Navy didn't really have a Navy base right there, that was close to the Bureau of Naval Personnel, or in this case, some of the people that worked at the Pentagon stayed at the same barracks. So in the evenings, I would go hang out in the kind of like a center area for the barracks where we had kind of like a common area that had pool tables, foosballs, and some very uncomfortable couches, and we'd listen to 1980s music and all that kind of good stuff.
This is one hell of a setup, Dave.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're describing it very, very detailed.
This better be awesome, Dave.
I can picture myself there.
All right, so we're on these very uncomfortable couches.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, the group that I'm hanging with, we have about 3 ladies and one other dude. So, there's a total of 5 of us normally every night. We're either hanging out there in this common area in the barracks, or we're going to the base bowling alley. But in this case, this night, we're hanging out at that common area that we normally, sit at and just chat at, through all evening, through the whole evening. So this particular evening, we're all there. The ladies decide that they want to go to the base theater to go check out a movie. Once the other guy finds out the name of the movie, he's like, no, I pass. And he finds another reason to get out of it. Me, I was kind of smitten with my then who becomes my ex-wife. And, so I play ball.
Uh-huh.
So I end up going to the movie theater, in this case, with 3 women.
Oh, God, I know where this is going.
And on the base theater, that particular evening, which cost like $1 to get into,
Oh God,
And
here we go.
this was not the movies. This wasn't like its first release. So this was after it had a little bit of life after it had been in the regular theaters.
Oh, you poor bastard.
We watched The Little Mermaid.
Oh, oh,
I
that's
didn't
not
see
bad.
that coming. I didn't see that coming.
That's not bad at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, that's
Okay.
fine.
So wow. I was expecting there to
I
be a
thought you were
lot
going
of
to say like
dive in that
Steel
one.
Magnolias or something.
No. We're on. So Little Mermaid was playing, and so at that time, like I said, it wasn't like first run theater kind of thing. It had its play in the regular theaters. So it's on a base theater. You pretty much pay $1 to get in. It was essentially just us. So we were just having a
nice.
good old time watching, this cartoon movie. It was just so memorable to me. That whole evening was kind of very memorable because it was just a lot of fun, and there was a lot of good things in a Disney princess movie of all things, and here I am going to defend a Disney princess movie, which is why my man card is out. So, I first off really loved the part where we had, the bird. I think his name was Scuttle. I'm trying to go by memory.
Yep.
That had the, he's trying to explain to her what essentially was a fork, but, I think he called it a dingle hopper.
Yep.
And it was and it's a way to straighten your hair. And then later on, that joke pays off where she's sitting at the table and uses the fork to try to comb her hair. And then you've got, King Neptune, who's got all these creatures to choose from, and he chooses this little crab, Sebastian, to take care of his ornery daughter. It was just, a lot of funniness in there. And then the songs that, I Want to Be Part of Your World, that was a great song by whatever the person was that did the voice for Ariel. That was so well done. And then later on in the movie, you get the Kiss the Girl song. So once again, man card's still out. So you guys, I'll pay off on that in a minute. But the Kiss the Girl part, that song's going on. You got Sebastian singing that.
Yep.
And the worst part is, fast forward to as my daughter's growing up, my oldest daughter, she goes through her phases of Disney princesses.
Yep.
So I become reacquainted with that movie, and I realized that at that time there was this Disney actress named Ashley Tisdale. She does a remake of Kiss the Girl, and I actually love that song more than I like the original. And it's crazy that I'm familiar with that much of a Disney princess movie, and then B, now a remake of Ashley Tisdale. So for those that want my man card, Twitter me at 80s Reboot and hashtag man card. Let me know. I'll send it in.
Well, I can't judge because when you called her father King Neptune, I literally had to bite back and go, King Triton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did it wrong.
Yeah, my man card is also on the table for this movie because, it was a Disney movie, and, I was, again, 7-ish, and if ever your parents wanted to get rid of you for an afternoon, they would, put you off to the theater, and Disney was a guaranteed bet, and I remember liking the movie enough, but then when I'd go to school on Monday, when that movie became popular, every girl in my class had, Little Mermaid stickers, Little Mermaid backpack, Little Mermaid, hoodie. And, I wanted to be Ariel. I was singing Kiss the Girl, Under the Sea. So even if I hated that movie, I wouldn't have been able to escape it. So yes, I am more aware of that movie than I am for a lot of other Disney movies. So yeah, my man card is also currently on my desk right now, staring me in the face.
Scott, please tell us you were a closet fan.
No, he's not.
Where's that cricket sound again?
Oh, there you go. All right, cool. I was waiting for somebody to do that.
I was 21. I was not stuck on a base with 3 women, girls that wanted to go see a movie. So I understand your motivation. I really do.
Yeah.
I get it. You're 20, right?
No, I was
19.
18, 19.
Oh, you're still okay. So 19.
Kid.
Still, yeah. I mean, you're there with 3 girls. They want you to go to a movie with them. Yeah, you're gonna go. And you had a crush on one of them. Obviously, you said, and
Right.
So why wouldn't you go? I would go see Little Mermaid if that was the case. So I don't see a problem with that.
All right.
It just wasn't anywhere on my in my radar at all to go see that movie. So it just didn't happen that way. So
I got you.
never saw it on video either. So I'm sure it was great. A lot of kids liked it. So
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Not to give any more time to Low Mermaid. Nick, please go.
Okay. Yes. Well, now my rhythm is off. I thought I had something, and then you brought up Little Mermaid.
why was that your next pick, Nick?
No. We might as well go out on a funny one. And I mentioned it earlier. UHF.
Oh yeah.
Damn funny movie. Didn't do so hot in the summer of '89 because they brought it out against Batman and Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first and last movie Weird Al has ever headlined, but damn it, that's not quotable.
It was very funny. That was a hysterical movie. And Weird Al, I mean, I love a lot of his work. He's very brilliant to be able to make the songs that are out there into something completely different and just funny lyricist. It's amazing. It's truly amazing.
Concert?
No, but he
have.
was just somewhere recently. I just saw, like in the last year or something. I saw that he was coming to town. I think that was up north, and I actually thought that would be a fun show to go to.
It is. I went in high school. I went when he came out with Running with Scissors. He came to my town, and there's video. He interacts with the audience. The place that we saw it was a place called Memorial Auditorium. I grew up in Burlington, Vermont, and in addition to an auditorium, it was very clearly a basketball court as well. So in the middle of a set, or in the downtime between sets, he got up on stage. He's like, "I just want to let everyone know that this is probably the nicest basketball court I've ever played." So I was like, "Yeah, that's right, Al." But
He's a very unique individual, that's for sure.
He is very much weird, that Al.
There's a song by him that I cannot find anywhere, and I wanted to download it, and it's a 9 Inch Nails take. It's I believe it's Closer, but the song is Microbiological Organisms.
Oh no, I think what you're talking about. It's what he calls a style parody. It's not based off of the song itself, but it's based off the style of that band. It's called Germs.
It's called Germs. Okay.
Yeah, it's
just
a 9.
I've looked up microbiological organisms so many times just to try to find it, and it never comes up.
No, I think it's called Germs, and it's like a 9 Inch Nails style parody. It sounds just like a 9 Inch Nails song.
It does. I swear, it sounds just like Closer.
But getting back to the movie, the cast was great. Michael Richards was in that.
Oh wow, really? Yeah, I forgot about that.
He was Stanley Spadowski.
Right.
Or Victoria Jackson. Yep, she was in that.
Oh, I forgot about her too. Yeah.
And
wasn't she his secretary or somebody worked?
Yeah, and then their neighbor Cooney. I think it was Getty Watanabe played him, and
nice.
He did. Eventually he was on the channel. He was did the show Wheel of Fish. Again, very quotable. No, you're stupid. You're so stupid.
Weird Al.
Yeah, I noticed you're kind of quiet, Dave.
Yeah, I am quiet because you guys are going to hate me, but I have never seen this movie.
It's okay. I forgive you.
I will forgive you because you bore your soul about Little Mermaid. So, but you do need to see this movie, and if you get the chance, watch it with the commentary as well. It's got Al and I think the producer and a few other people, and it's just hilarious. In addition to just going on about the movie, they're just funny.
Okay.
And it's a really great commentary, and yeah, just a funny, wacky movie that I think if it came out now, maybe might do better. I think we have a little more tolerance for just the sort of absurd comedies now. But
Yeah, we probably do.
but yeah, when put up against something like Batman, Indiana Jones, I think no, Ghostbusters 2 came out in 90. But that summer was a very, very cinematic summer, and yeah, it wasn't the best time to bring that kind of movie out.
No. And that may have been the reason why it didn't even hit my radar. Scott, what do you got for your third pick?
Summer of 1989. End of August, I packed up all my stuff in the back of my pickup truck, and I drove from California to Chicago. And I didn't do this alone. I went with another friend of mine, Scott Elliott, and his sister, and they were moving to Nebraska at the same time. So we carpooled, not carpooled, but caravan, across the country. Well,
I've got a guess, but please go ahead.
we ended up in, I think one of our stops was, I know the name of the town. I just can't remember if it was the first or second day. I think it was the second day. Tucumcari, New Mexico. And we got to this hotel and we were bored. Oh, there's more. Oh no. You know what? Wait, I got to back up a second.
Oh,
God. I had a snake. I had a ball python at the time. Okay. So I had to transport him in the front of my pickup truck in his tank. I had a medium-sized tank that fit in the passenger seat, and they were in their moving van or whatever. So we're driving along, and as we're pulling into a gas station because their truck was giving them problems, we're pulling into some kind of mechanics, and it was I believe it was on a Sunday, so the mechanics weren't there, so we're going to have to stay at a hotel overnight. So we pull into the mechanic shop, and they get out. Scott and Michelle get out, and they're standing on the back of my pickup truck. Well, I had fed the snake about a week before, and he decided to vomit up the decomposing remains of a rat that I had. And okay, it was like the worst smell that you could imagine. Okay. Oh man, these memories that are coming back. That's too funny. So I get out, and now, okay, my buddy Scott was always really rough and tough on the football team. Just a tough guy, and he was on the back of my truck, standing on the tailgate. We went from the mechanic's place, drove into the next parking lot over to go to the hotel. That was when the puking happened. And the smell got to him. He was like out for like an hour. He couldn't do anything. He was like, he thought he was gonna be hurling, So anyway, so we're stuck in this town with, a sick snake. We got to get out of the hotel room because it's even stinking up the hotel room.
Yeah,
it's bad, man. I mean, it was bad. So we're like, okay, let's get out. Let's go see a movie. And I know this doesn't lead up to any type of movie. It just happens to be that was a movie at the theater, and we both like Steve Martin. So we went and saw Parenthood.
Nice.
Oh, good.
And loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it has such a memory tied to it that I'll never forget the first time I saw Parenthood. But a lot of fun characters, a lot of fun family stuff in it. There were no vomiting snakes, fortunately. So
vomiting kids, I think.
Yes, there was. Do you feel like you're going to be sick? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way that lead up was going to lead to that movie.
Nope.
Yeah.
Where did you think I was going to go, Dave?
You were talking about a road trip, and then all of a sudden I thought When Harry Met Sally.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I mean, that's definitely on the honorable mentions. But no, I happen to see Parenthood.
Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah.
Great cast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome cast. Awesome cast. I mean, Keanu Reeves.
I know.
plays the usual doofus that he was.
Yeah.
He played was it Ted, right?
Yeah.
He was
Todd.
Ted.
But he was Ted in Bill and Ted.
Ted.
Yeah, he was Ted and Bill and Ted's, but in
Ted. So it was really easy.
He was Todd.
Yes, and Bill and Ted was the same year. They made that.
Right.
They came out the same year. So it was very easy for Keanu Reeves to go from Ted to Todd. And I think that chose him. So anyway, it was not a leap for him to go. And plus he played the same doofus that he was in Bill and Ted.
This was a long time before Neo, so
yes, it was a long time before that.
But I liked the parental archetypes. They instead, beyond just Steve Martin's beleaguered parent, they also showed, was it Rick Moranis? The super overachieving parent.
Yes.
Teaching his little daughter about frigging advanced mathematics.
Learning Chinese and
Yeah, it was it was a relatable movie. A lot of things that you could just like really connect with.
Well, now that you guys are parents yourselves, do you see a lot more of it now? Like, does it make more sense to you now than it did when you were younger?
It does. There's like certain scenes like where Gil is like, I've got to stay at work and dazzle, and all of a sudden I'm like, things are happening at work where I'm like, I feel like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting, but I don't have the situation where, my wife is like driving me and saying, I love the roller coaster. So I don't have situations like that, but I do have the, I've got to stay at work and dazzle somebody. So
yeah, and the roller coaster, that was such a powerful moment when the grandma describes life that way,
right?
And she just tells that story of her being at a park, and she was just it was so thrilling to have the roller coaster, and it was a very powerful statement. Now,
if she's so smart, why is she sitting in the neighbor's car?
Yeah. Well, one of the funny parts is when the power goes out in the house and they get a flashlight, but it's not a flashlight.
Yeah.
No, you just hear everyone laughing.
Or the loser son, Yeah. The loser son that gets thrown out of a car as he's being driven. Oh, they were just dropping. They were just dropping me off. They're in a hurry. Yeah, it's so. Not only
his kid was cool.
Yes, his name was cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yep. Yep.
Yeah, and who was the grandpa in that one? Who was the dad, the main dad? Not Steve Martin, but his dad.
Jason Robarbs.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Guy, he's such an amazing actor. I love that guy. He's been in a lot of good things.
Yeah, he was like the go-to avuncular old guy for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, just overall, you got even what was her name from Goonies was in that one too.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Martha Plimpton.
Yes.
Steph. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Julie Buckman.
Yeah, and they get the wrong pictures back.
Yes. And Diane Weiss just sitting there giggling. She's like looking at it.
Yeah.
She's like got the crazy laugh going on.
So that movie was a nice removal from the puking snake experience.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. That's wonderful. Now, how long did it take to get the smell out of the car?
Actually, it wasn't too bad in the car because he was still in the tank, so I had to take him out. I put him in the bathtub of the hotel, so he wouldn't go anywhere. And then I took the tank outside and I washed it out really good, and that actually worked. I was surprised. And then I bought this some kind of air freshener at a gas station, spray, and sprayed the crap out of my truck. So it was good stuff. There's more adventures with my snake Floyd, though.
Oh, thank you for throwing the name in there, Floyd.
Oh, Floyd, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because I was a big Pink Floyd fan.
We need a travel log of your adventures now.
Well, I can't mention his name, but somebody smuggled him on a plane.
Oh, God. Oh, this was definitely pre 9/11.
Yes, it was. Yeah, he put him in his shirt when he went through the. They went instead, because he had him in his carry-on bag. Now this person now is a teacher, so I can't. That's why I can't. Because he might. I don't know if he could still get in trouble. And there might be a statute of limitations.
I would like to think so.
So he had him in his carry-on bag, and this was well before 9/11. You still had to go through metal detectors or whatever, and they would X-ray your bag. So we didn't want to put the snake in the bag because you knew that they would see the X-ray, right? So he went into the bathroom, put the snake in his shirt, and wrapped it around his waist like a belt, like the bottom of his shirt. And then when he got on the plane, he went into the bathroom with his bag and he put the snake back in the bag. And the thing is, he was in college, or no, he was a teacher at this point. No, he was still in college. His mom found out, and she was furious.
Yeah, I could see that might not.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I don't. In the 80s, that might have got him on a few no-fly lists right there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean that was before Snakes on a Plane ever came out too. Maybe they got the movie. Maybe they got the idea from us.
Yeah, maybe. In some long forgotten conversation, someone remembered. Man, no, that's a well behaved snake. I gotta say.
Oh yeah, he was very mellow, just like Pink Floyd. The name fit.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of Twitter shout outs to do.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, so let's try to get through some of these.
Hello, Twitter.
So we got Mr. K at Zombies Ate My Dalek. He says, figured this would be easy, then looked up the list for 1989 movies. So many favorites, ... Nick Nugent at KRC Companion says, that's a tough one because I really love Batman 89, but I'm going to go with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for broader story. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade has a perfect blend of romance, action, location, conflict, and sensational design. Batman 89 has great characters, unique design, excellent music, just not the best pacing and scope compared to Indy. Too bleak. So Nick Nugent had a lot to say there between Indiana Jones and Batman.
Also, Nick Nugent.
Dan Maxwell at D Maxwell 79 says Batman without a doubt. Merle MURMLERMICHA, which is just another great one, at MICHATHIEME. So please don't have me say that. Said really love these two, and then they included pictures of The Little Mermaid and the Fabulous Baker Boys. So we haven't mentioned the Fabulous Baker Boys yet. Did you guys watch that one at all?
I know of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I know of it. I got nothing.
All right. Over Jupiter, at Over Jupiter, says, what a great year for movies. Last Crusade and Field of Dreams in a photo finish. Batman in a distant third. Ouch, Over Jupiter. That was not nice.
Oh.
Man, ouch. All right. J.K. Stifler at LYVE_wire is going with Back to the Future 2. We did not bring that one up.
Oh my God! Now I feel like a bad person because I love that movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
anyway.
and we were talking about doing that kind of a show around Back to the Future 2 sometime this month.
Now we're going to, right? I mean, we have to.
We have to. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
October 21st, 2015 is coming up. So
Yeah, I mean, you got the Cubs in the playoffs, and it was prophesied.
hard to one shot.
Yeah. Although the Miami Sharks, I think, is the one they beat.
No, it was Gators. They had like some Gator thing.
Yeah. So.
They're not but they can't because they're in the same league.
Right, something like that, but it doesn't matter as long as the Cubbies can do it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to record that before they blow it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we only got a couple weeks then.
All right, so Jason R. Wells, Esquire, at JR Wells 82 says Lethal Weapon 2,
Nice.
Back to the Future 2, Tango and Cash, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, UHF, The Burbs, 89, such a great year for films, !
I would have mentioned Bill and Ted, but I just knew that I would spend the rest of the show quoting it.
So great.
Be excellent to each other.
Just anything with George Carlin in it.
Oh, yeah. That was... I love Bill and Ted. That was... I just watched that the other day, too, because it was on... And I was doing something on my computer, so I sometimes I like to just have TV on in the background, and so I'm like, oh yeah, Bill and Ted, that's good mindless stuff.
Well, it was on Netflix. Is it still on Netflix?
Yeah, I think Bogus Journey is on Netflix.
I know. Yeah, I know Bogus Journey, but I think the first one was on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was on some random cable channel that I was just flipping through and I caught it.
Yeah, there's many a movie that I'm watching that it's like I just can't change the channel.
Again, House Fire movies.
Yeah, exactly. What were some of those others in that? I still can't see those tweets. What were some of the other ones that he mentioned? A couple of those.
Lethal Weapon 2.
Okay, that was good.
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash, right? Yep. That was a great movie. I love that one. That was Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell.
Yes,
they were a great team together. That was actually one that, because I always talk about these topics with my wife before I do the show, and she's like, "Oh, I would take Tango and Cash. It would be Batman, and then Steel Magnolias, and then Tango and Cash for her."
What a weird grouping.
I know. She's eclectic. So yeah, it's but Tango and Cash, a lot of fun. First time I found out what the word foobar meant.
I know,
right? So moving on, we got Freaky Fast at my 86686 says Lethal Weapon 2, Back to the Future 2, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Field of Dreams, and Major League. Oh my God, nobody brought up Major League.
Well, that was going to be my, if we went over second choices, that would have been, it was a toss between that or Field of Dreams.
Yeah, honorable mention, right?
Yeah, honorable mention, definitely Major League.
Let's see, Jesse Jackson, our co-host Jesse Jackson, says this is at Jesse Jackson DFW, says, don't know if these 1980 movies will come up, but I loved Glory.
That's a good one.
Very good movie, Glory.
Still Magnolias.
Yeah. Actually, that's really... I love that movie. It's funny.
It's a great cast.
Why did I feel bad about my man card?
Yeah.
And then say anything.
I say anything. Yeah.
Oh, way to go, Jesse. All right. My geek choices are Batman, Last Crusade, and Final Frontier.
Star Trek 5.
Star Trek, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Good choice, Jesse. Let me see.
I'll talk to you about that later.
All right, so Matt Duck 21, he actually tweeted pictures. So give me a minute. We got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Christmas Vacation, Do the Right Thing, and Say
Spike
Anything. Yeah, Spike Lee. Yep. And that was the only one that we hadn't discussed was Do the Right Thing.
That's actually a little more, I think, cerebral than what we talked about on this show. Very good movie, though. Very good.
Oh, it was very good.
Very wonderful movie.
It made a point. It was powerful, for sure.
Very, very. It's one of those movies you sort of have to be in the right mood to watch because, yeah, you come away from it feeling a little bit drained.
Absolutely.
Ugly Hyena Junkie at Card Junk. He tweeted pictures, or
I'm
she.
scrolling down, so maybe I'll see it.
Yeah, it says UHF. He's got Ghostbusters 2.
Okay, it did come out in 89.
The Burbs, and then there's another movie that has a whole bunch of Chinese writing that I don't understand.
Let's see. How far I'm looking at it. I can't quite find it.
Yeah, so I don't know what that movie is.
Anyone on Twitter, feel free to educate us. We're ignorant.
Yep. All right. So
I still can't see. I'm using both the Twitter app on my computer and through just the website, and I still can't see anything.
Really?
Yeah. I'm following. I'm looking at tweets and replies, and all I get is the first one that you guys posted.
Twitter just does not like you, sir.
I guess not. I've had that problem several times since I've been doing the show. So maybe I'm doing it wrong. I'm tweeting wrong, apparently.
You're Twitter impaired.
I must be.
Okay.
So
all right, guys. So we have got to wrap this up.
I just got to throw out a couple honorable mentions. Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay. The Abyss.
Yes.
Cool.
I love that movie. And one that I really wanted to mention, just because it's so iconic, is Roadhouse.
Yes.
That's another movie we would have just sat here all night and just quoted.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I wish I could have spent a little more time on it, but I know it's one of those weird movies that are like they're really cheesy, but they're so good. You love them. You gotta love it.
Well,
yeah.
That's another thing. Like Mike Nelson from Riff Tracks, it's like one of his all-time favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Roadhouse.
Yeah.
It's either My Way or The Highway.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was the movie
that was awesome in it. Patrick Swayze.
That was the movie that taught me that I could, with enough strength, tear a man's throat out with my bare hand.
Yeah.
Haven't had an opportunity to test that theory, but
yeah, and Kelly Lynch looked good in that one.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Honorable mentions for you, Dave?
I brought up the ones I wanted to bring up, so I'm happy.
Well, I said I broke Major League, Bill and Ted, and I would say and then I guess we didn't talk about it at all, Ghostbusters 2. And all I'll say is, I don't care what anyone says, I love that just as much as the first one. The first one is a better movie, yes, but I still love the hell out of Ghostbusters 2, so blame away, ladies and gentlemen.
It's okay. It's okay, Nick.
It's got Vigo in it, man.
It's got Vigo.
He's Vigo. You are like the buzzing of flies to him.
Oh, boy.
All right. So, Nick, how do people find you on social media?
If you want to find me on social media, you could probably find me on the 80s Reboot list, but I am at Wheel Crow, WHEELIAM Crow, on Facebook as well, if you ever want to look me up. But yeah.
Cool. All right, Scott?
At Scott's Eye on Twitter when it's working right. I mean, I don't know. I might not know. I might not ever see it, so who knows? Or on Facebook at Scott Compton Photography.
Cool. And I'm Dave, and I take care of the Twitter account for 80s Reboot, so it's at 80s Reboot. But we also got Tumblr, which is tumblr.com or 80sreboot.tumblr.com, facebook.com/80s Reboot. And we also have an email now, which is 80sreboot@gmail.com. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. So with that, thank you all for joining us and reliving the 80s, and we appreciate you listening.
We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Good night. We hope you've enjoyed this show. This podcast is part of the 80s Reboot Overdrive channel on Southgate Media Group. You can follow us on Facebook on the 80s Reboot group page. We're also on Twitter and Tumblr at 80s Reboot. We invite you to check out all the wonderful podcasts and blogs available at southgatemediagroup.com. And thank you for reliving the 80s.